Greetings, my friends, and welcome to another adventure in the world of Kriegeland. Today, we have the 6 potential heroes, 2 out of the 5 remaining teams, coming home from their adventure throughout the land to report back to the king and to await the Bard's Song Elimination Kingdom vote. It was like kind of like a America's Next Top Model type thing, or a American Idol type situation going on. Okay, so thunderous cries of excitement explode through Crestcall at your return. It seems the party in town continued in your absence, and the excitement for the tales to come haven't diminished over the last week. The royal guards push past the crowd, swarming you for attention, and direct you to the nobles' district to report to the king. You enter into the mayor's manor and are greeted in the council chambers to a feast table and a handful of nobles that inform you the king shall join you shortly. Already in the chamber are Vance, Caligar, and Mary. They come in from a side entry, and they hail Braxton's team, as you guys have spoken a little bit.
Mary? Yeah, she's great.
Yeah, she is.
And,
Very charitable.
And they mentioned that they've been here for about 2 days now, because their quest was to meet some dignitaries from the Deepwater Kingdom, and they had a much shorter traveling distance, so they've been back for a couple of days now. So I guess Braxton, Helios, and Connor come in. They've got themselves some roughed up. They look a little rough around the edges. They look worn down, beaten, but generally still, victorious. And
Connor's already eating because he's a hungry boy.
And Connor's already eating because he's a hungry lad. Now, when Stovar, Bird, and Joseph enter, it's a whole different kind of situation. They're beaming on their way in, and the clank of metal coins fills all of their pockets as they drag in a large chest full of coin and loot. There's the background, yes, of the nobles district. That's right. So yeah, Mary and Caligar and Vance kind of just, they're it sounds like their adventure may have been a mildly boring. They kind of just met with some dignitaries and ended up in a scuffle with some unlawful fish people. Nothing too crazy. No one got close to death or any particularly cool loots or anything like that. So you guys are all feeling a little bit good. Potentially they might be the eliminated team, as far as the story goes for their bard. But yeah, you guys are all just waiting for the king right now. So
you said there's five teams and 3 of them are here.
Yeah, 3 of them are here.
Okay, what's that massive loot chest? We gotta find out what that is.
Well, you could go ask them. They're just right there in the room with you.
Yeah. Gentlemen, look at this haul. You could buy multiple kingdoms with this. I'm sure your story is fantastic. Lay it on me.
Why don't you mind your own dang business, nosy?
Oh, man.
Excellent. Well,
Mary,
all I need to know about you, sir.
Mary shakes her head and kind of puts a hand on your shoulder, Braxton. It's kind of like, don't worry about them. They think they're better than everyone.
Why do you?
I don't think I'm better than anyone. Although I will say, and I'm gonna listen to my barrel. Is that still fermenting?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bird is carrying around a 2-gallon wooden barrel that he keeps listening to and whispering things to.
And petting it.
Soon, my precious.
Yeah, it's ready for the next round of flavor or brewing process. If you decide to go more complicated with it, you're probably about ready for that next level of what you're attempting to pull off.
We'll give it a little more time. Let it finish fermenting. before it
Stovar's
gets
probably
stabilized.
counting coins in the corner.
Yeah. I mean, we had to collapse a mountain. It was no big deal, and then we found this
Oh.
this chest.
Collapse.
Yes, we totally meant to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was absolutely on purpose.
We found it
That
a
was by
secret
design.
tunnel for some secret god. You know, it was no big deal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep, definitely no secret gods except for mine. Mine's the only secret god.
By the way, Stovar is wearing half plate, and like every inch of it is covered in the blacksmith sigil.
Yeah, the blacksmith from town's like logo is all over it. It's actually like quite hideous looking.
Yeah.
'Cause, so he's wearing like, and he's got
That
a
is
he's got
armor.
a very gleaming, beautiful looking, potentially magical longsword on his hilt
Ooh, nice.
or on his hip, I should say.
We are calling it NASCARmer.
NASCARmer, yeah, because he's got
Armor.
he it's like he has that many logos, but all the
All the
same
decals
but it's
all
all the
over.
same company. So it's just all
Just
the,
one guy.
It's only tied.
Gotta make sure you get your name out there, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever works, I suppose. Oh.
The door opens and a servant announces, "King Elroy II," as the boy king enters the chambers, trailed
I
by.
hate this guy.
Yeah, I assume you say under your breath.
No, no. I got thrown into this tournament for saying things loudly. I'm not stopping
Okay.
now.
So the boy king enters the chamber, trailed by the commander of his royal guard, General Hoff, who gives a very, very deep, curmudgeonly scowl at Joseph when he has the audacity to say something like that. As
I'm
they
just gonna
appro-
kind of like slap him on the arm. Come on, man.
Come on,
This is the guy that's giving us stuff.
as well as the mayor of Crestcall, Trebius Tubbs. Maybe, I don't know if any of you have met him, but he's kind of just a middle-aged, balding man with sideburns, kind of fumbling over his own hands and words. He's voted in by the city council, and he looks like he's probably a big pushover, so they like having him in there. But the king speaks, and he says, "By the holy light, it is wonderful to see your return, heroes." He says with like a joyous aura, "Please take rest here in Mayor Tubbs' home and enjoy the spoils of victory. We shall await the return of the other two teams. My scouts report that Giles and his team shall be here before sundown. As for Volsk's team, we have not heard word, but their journey was a day's travel longer than any of your other teams. I must make arrangements and complete duties required of a king, but I shall join you for dinner." The king's giddiness is palpable as he skips from the chamber, uncharacteristically showing his age. The tournament is going well, and the polls show a vast increase in his favorability.
Bread
Man,
and
I just
syrup.
can't get the votes down on him.
Well, you can just casually bring up your rebellion to all these guys if you want.
Oh,
What?
wind of a rebellion.
It
Yeah.
seems that Joseph King has some sort of grudge against Alroy.
But he's just a boy.
And boys shouldn't be running countries because they make terrible financial decisions. Like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Funding
You guys seem to
competitive.
be doing pretty well.
No thanks to him.
Well, I mean,
A little bit.
We got a couple hundred gold each, you know, from that last round.
I didn't spend any of that money.
Ooh.
I didn't either.
Yeah, me neither.
I took that money and brought it to a person for an investment into a rebellion.
it's better to call it a dynamic shift in power.
Mm.
We're proposing a paradigm shift
Yeah.
in the leadership.
That's great. That's some low hanging
And-
fruit right there.
Yeah.
And And if I hear the king's voice one more time with that high pitched prepubescent cracking, I'm going to assert a 4-pronged approach to his head.
Gonna hit him with a
I'm
chair.
I'm going to hit him with a chair.
This is very interesting. I want to subscribe to your newsletter, my friend.
Yes, yes.
We haven't like gotten scribes together. Actually, I don't know. Maybe we've gotten the scribes. I'm gonna have to check in with some of the other investors.
Joking, you're such a comedian.
I mean, yeah, is a joke unless you guys like it.
That's true.
Unless you want to contribute.
Yeah, you better. Yeah.
Well, I think
A guard enters the room and checks in on you guys, and you're all like, "Oh yeah, we're just having a chuckle here."
I think we ended up losing a lot of money on our trip, so I don't know if we're in a position to really fund anything.
So, like, you guys don't look too good. Just saying. What happened?
It was pretty rough.
Wow.
But maybe their bard turned out to actually be a werewolf.
Yeah, that might have been it, yeah.
He was
Almost.
great.
Stuff happened at night that we don't want to talk about.
Our bard was just edging us the whole time.
He was pushing you guys to be more and more like hardcore the whole time.
I don't like that phrasing. Can we not say that he was edging us?
So a bit of time goes by, and Giles, Brog, and Biggs, they're the fourth team, comes rolling in. Brog, the half-orc barbarian, who once was wearing the sigils and symbols of Zargile, is now fully decorated in a complete 180. Instead of the red and black of Zargile, he's wearing the silver and blue and a holy symbol of Zarel. And Giles runs up to Helios and he says, "Helios, by the light, it's good to see you." He says, "There's been a great miracle of Methendis and Brog here." And Brog comes up and he's like, "By my honor, Giles has saved my life in our adventure. So I owed it to him to grant him any one wish. And he wished for me to become a hero. And so now I fight for Zarel and not for Zargile. The war god, the blood god be damned."
A worthy cause indeed. I am glad that you have turned and saw the light.
"Yes, as am I. I have seen my wicked ways, and I will have them no more."
Well, on behalf of us all, we welcome you, brother.
He gives you a big old like warrior hand clasp.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
A few hours roll past after that, and then your guys are escorted into the dining room of the mayor's manor. Here, the king waits with the mayor and Valerio. They let you take a seat, and Alroy II stands to toast the heroes. He says,
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it. Joseph starts grabbing a chair. He says, "It is my great honor." And then he's interrupted as a loud crash is heard, and a messenger rushes through the door, the king's advisors quickly trailing behind. The winded messenger rushes forth and whispers to the king, who drops his glass. "Quickly, all of you with me." You leave the mayor's lot and are greeted by an uncovered wagon pulled by an old farmer and his trusted horse. The king rushes to the side of the wagon. There, shivering in pain and pale to look upon, lies Ming the archer, who, I will remind you, is one of the members of the fifth and missing team. She presses a brown and red-soaked bundle of rags against a grievous wound in her side. My king," she weakly spits out before falling unconscious. "Call for the healers!" the king cries. Valerio moves towards
Healing
her.
him. I got it.
You could start going over to start like trying to heal her.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just cast Cure Wounds.
Okay, pause there. Valerio moves towards her, and you can tell, Joseph, that as you cast the spell, it does not take hold because her life force is leaving her, and it's too late.
Damn.
Valerio moves towards her, and he whispers something to the king as the monarch nods his approval. Valerio casts a spell, and a shimmering blob of energy pours out of Ming's ears and mouth. The blob begins to display memories, the memories coursing through her head. You see Volsk telling Tuck that the treasure should be ours, and they should split it. Of the bard's attempt to stop them, only to be met with violent fury, impaled against the wall of the inn room they occupy by a treacherously barbed spear. Of Ming's final arrow drawn before Volsk's sword runs her through, and of the shameful look in Tuck's eyes as he leaves her to bleed out, and the two of them flee with the money meant for the town they traveled to. The spell... Tuck, that was your partner in the very first round, Stovar.
I remember.
Yeah. The spell ends abruptly, and Ming's breath slows to nothing. The king's demeanor grows gaunt and serious. He turns around to the remaining teams with a scowl of betrayal and eyes burning with the promise of justice. The tournament is postponed until Kriegeland's most wanted criminals are brought to ruin. Find them, heroes. Find them and bring back their heads. The teams to succeed shall advance to the final cut. A summer wind blows in, a crack of thunder rings out, and darkness looms on the horizon.